If you're an anime fan, chances are you're deeply familiar with the ever-looming taunt, "Can he beat Goku though?" Well, the one anime character that seems to be at the forefront of those kinds of discussions is none other than the bald badass, the comically cartoonish Cape Crusader, the strongest, the goofiest, the man with the power of cartoon physics on his side, the man who trained till he looked like a cancer patient and ended up being so powerful he can no longer find meaning in life, the one, the only, Saitama, the One Punch Man. Now, Saitama might be a contender for one of the coolest and most powerful anime characters, but that's in relation to other shows. In his own world, Saitama's the equivalent to a whale stuffed into a koi pond. That is to say, he's so stupidly strong that nothing's a challenge. As a result, his displays of power often give us incredible moments, but they're often immediately offset by his nonchalant and uncaring demeanor. More than one of his opponents have gotten insanely triggered by that, as a matter of fact, and it only results in them getting beat down even more. Today, we'll be taking a look at some of Saitama's best moments, and on occasion, how he shatters their grandeur with a deadpan expression. Number 1. In the very opening scene of the anime, Saitama saves a little girl from a villain known as Vaccine Man. The way he does this, super speed, cape flourish and all, are classic superhero coolness to the max. As the villain starts monologuing, however, he instantly loses interest. Once Vaccine Man bulks up into a terrifying form, we get our first look at Saitama's immense power as he blows the monster away with just one punch. Pretty cool, right? Except just look at the pose he strikes afterwards. What in the goofy hell even is that? Number 2. Later on, Saitama's embroiled in battle with a villain duo consisting of what looks to be a knockoff Titan and his brother, who's the brains of their operation. After smashing Saitama into a massive crater, he comments on how being the strongest is actually pretty dull since he has nothing to do now. Saitama emerges from the crater he was thrown into after hearing this statement. In a rare moment of seriousness, he clobbers the giant with one punch while somberly stating that having such overwhelming strength is just boring. Number 3. Following that, we have arguably one of the most incredible action sequences in the anime, or at the very least, definitely in Season 1. The battle between Saitama and the subterranean race aiming for world domination. The high-octane, blood-boiling battle is one of the only times Saitama's seen really taking a fight seriously, and the only time we see him actually enjoying a battle. All the way from his apartment to a collapsing bridge, Saitama puts his back into a fight for once and loves every second of it. Smirk on his lips, blood running down his face, muscles pushed to their limits. This is the fight he was missing, and it was a dream. Right back from incredibly awe-inspiring to comically disappointing we go. Kinda feel bad for the guy. Number 4. At a later date, everyone's favorite cyborg, Genos, is fighting for his life against a villain known as Mosquito Girl. Things are bad enough that he's considering self-destructing to take her out when, out of the blue, Saitama appears and bitch slaps her into a bloody splatter on the wall. Pretty cool, right? Except he's completely naked and follows it up with the dopiest smile, saying that mosquitoes suck. I guess that's kind of a hard line still. Number 5. Following Mosquito Girl's defeat and Saitama's acceptance of Genos as a student, the two are accosted by more animal-themed monsters. After swiftly dispatching of them like a couple of disabled hillbillies, the two end up in the House of Evolution that the animal villains are being created in. Here, the One Punch Man faces off against a mutated villain known as Carnage Kabuto. Despite the fact that the beetle-like beast is absolutely battering him, Saitama doesn't bat an eye or show even the slightest sign of real pain. Instead, as he runs the beast monologue through his head, he comes to a startling conclusion. Today is bargain day at the supermarket and he's missing it. Yeah, I don't know what else I expected. The bald hero obliterates Kabuto with a single punch while freaking out about bargain day, once again warping a pretty awesome moment into whatever this is now. Number 6. After the fiasco at the House of Evolution, we come to a sparring session between Saitama and Genos. Genos constantly insists that Saitama fight him seriously after the caped hero does nothing but dodge for the majority of their spar. Here, for perhaps the first time, we get to see just how much Saitama has to hold back with every single thing he does. With just a mildly serious thrust of his fist, the air pressure alone punches a damn hole through a whole mountain range. It really goes a long way showing that there's more depth to his character than just an OP dude who doesn't take things seriously. Knowing that he has that kind of power, how can he take anything seriously? He's all but a god in human form, wanting for nothing but some fun, and nothing can give it to him. Overall, definitely one of his coolest moments. Number 7. Next up, we have the scene of City Z about to be hit by a meteorite out of nowhere. With both Genos and the hero Metal Knight's attempts at destroying it ending in failure, all hope seems to be lost for the city. That is, until Saitama arrives just in the nick of time in true hero fashion. Putting on a serious face for once, the hero leaps into the sky, shattering the whole meteorite nobody else could even damage with his signature one punch. For what might be the first time since the subterranean battle dream, we see Saitama completely focused, and it's one hell of an incredible moment. Number 8. Throughout the series, Saitama makes it very apparent that he's stayed true to his goal of being a hero for fun. Popularity, fame, and recognition aren't what matter to him. As long as he can enjoy being a hero and help some people while he's at it, he's satisfied. That's made very apparent with the outpouring of hate from City Z's residents over how he handled the meteorite situation. He smiles through it all, showing no sign that it has any effect on him, something that greatly concerns Genos as a worried student. Saitama's image is not improved at all in the next big fiasco, the Sea People's declaration of war on the land dwellers. It's during this incident that Saitama meets Moomin Rider for the first time and bonds with the powerless hero. Later on, we see him becoming completely serious when he finds Moomin's abandoned phone and realizes he's in trouble. When Saitama arrives on the scene of Moomin and the Deep Sea King's battle, he shows his respect for the rider and praises him for putting up a good fight. Then, in usual One Punch Man fashion, he blows away the villain with, well, one punch. Afterwards, he showcases his strength of character once more by pretending to be a weakling who stole the win from the other heroes on scene just to preserve the faith of the people and their protectors. Saitama's strength isn't all physical. His mental fortitude is also something to be admired, when he's not worrying about discounts and bargain sales at least. Number 9. Finally, we arrive at the concluding catastrophe of Season 1, the invasion of Earth by the galactic conqueror Boros. Throughout this little arc, Saitama takes things pretty easy, coasting his way onto Boros' ship and then tricking his ship's elite fighter, Garyoganchup, into telling him where the throne room is. All of it's practically straight out of a gag manga. After arriving in the throne room, Saitama faces Boros. The alien walks right up to the hero and speaks of a prophecy stating he could finally face a challenge here. He senses the power within Saitama and tells him to give him the fight he desires. In response, Saitama does the sensible thing and punches him into a wall. Boros emerges from said wall and sheds his armor, claiming that his limiters are gone and he can now go all out. Saitama simply responds with what has now become the infamous "okay" meme gif. Goofy boy still can't be bothered to take things seriously. After Boros transforms into a new form, he chases Saitama across his ship with dozens of attacks, none of them landing properly. Eventually, Saitama clashes fists with him and ends up blowing the alien's arm off. His only reaction is a deadpan look and the statement that Garo's pretty strong. From there, he starts focusing just a little bit and intercepts many of Boros' attacks. Eventually, Boros gets the upper hand and lets loose a constant flurry of attacks. To end it off, he unleashes a massive attack and uppercut that leaves Saitama frozen in place. As he starts monologuing and regenerating his arm, he fails to notice that Saitama is unharmed. He interrupts Boros with a demand to shut up and shows just how unimpressed he is. An enraged Boros hits Saitama with his strongest physical attack and follows up with a vicious, unending combo that launches Saitama to space and into the moon's surface. Even still, the hero's unfazed and launches himself back to Earth with a jump that craters the moon. In an instant, he lands next to Boros and unleashes the most powerful attack we've seen from him yet: consecutive normal punches. That sounded cooler in my head. Boros regenerates from this and they exchange another series of attacks. At the very end, Saitama unleashes an even stronger attack, consecutive serious punches. In the aftermath of the attack, Boros is left as a charred and dying heap, while Saitama's most damaged part is his clothing. In his final moments, he tries to give Boros the comfort of knowing his final fight was a glorious one, but Boros sees through him. He calls out Saitama for still having heaps of strength to spare. He never stood a chance. As he breathes his last and the ship collapses, Saitama walks away with his face shrouded in somber acceptance. He is the strongest, and he'll always regret that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out this other very interesting video. See you in the next one.